Well, the latest news on the Karmelo Anthony, Austin Metcalf case continues to take interesting turns. Karmelo Anthony, the 17-year-old accused of fatally unaliving of another student at a high school track meet in Frisco earlier this month, was released from jail Monday after his bond was lowered to $250,000. First, take a look at video footage of Karmelo Anthony being released from jail.
Karmelo, why were you armed at school? Explain your self-defense. How is this self-defense?
Excuse me.
Karmelo, would you like to say?
I had to browse.
Next, you will hear from Karmelo Anthony's attorney speaking to reporters.
Self-defense is a protection that applies to each and every one of us. There are two sides to every story. And Karmelo is a 17-year-old kid and an excellent student. He is the captain of his track team. He is the captain of his football team. And prior to this, what was on his mind was what college he was going to go to. This is a tragedy all the way around for both families. Rushing to judgment, trial by public perception and trial by media is not how we ensure justice is done. We are confident that after a full investigation, that the truth will come out. Thank you.
Mike, you took umbrage with the state's assessment that this was simple and brutal. Why so?
Well, the fact of the matter is, like I said, there's two sides to every story, and we've only heard one side. In any criminal case, the police investigate, and the defense is always far behind that. And so it is a one-sided investigation to this point, and even that investigation is still ongoing. So to say that it happened this way or that way is just not accurate at this point. All of the facts are going to come out, and that's why our system of justice requires that we keep our minds open and we let the facts come out as they are after a full investigation.
Is your client going to be able to make bond and get out today?
I anticipate that he will be able to make bond. I can't speak to how quickly that will go. Funds, in the funds that have been raised are not quick to come out. And then, there's obviously a process to the release process once bond is posted.
The big question that a lot of people have is, why was this young man armed on school property?
That's an understandable question, but it's not something that, frankly, we're prepared to even go into. This is something that I know the police and the prosecution want to get it right and want to have a full and fair investigation, and so do we. So it would be irresponsible for me or them at this point to start saying, this is what happened, this is why, anything. So I understand that's a big question. It's going to be a big question, and it's something that we will find out, and we ask that the public, as hard as it is, withhold judgment and let both of these families have justice, that let both of these young men, the Metcalf family and the memory of who they've lost, but also Karmelo, have a fair and full justice process.
Ultimately, your feeling on the reduction of this bond, you feel it's fair?
I feel it's fair. Bond, as the judge said, is not supposed to be an instrument of oppression. It's not supposed to keep people in jail. It's not supposed to punish. It's supposed to ensure that a person shows up to court, complies with all conditions, and it's supposed to keep the community safe. So this is a large and substantial bond, and the judge has, I think, rightly imposed reasonable conditions that will ensure both Karmelo and the Anthony family's safety, but also the safety of the community.
What was Carmelo's reaction today? He didn't seem very talkative toward you. And how has jail, I guess, been so far for this teenager? And is he on suicide watch or anything like that?
I honestly can't speak to Karmelo's reaction because I was so focused on the hearing and what was going on and what the judge was saying. I think we have to all remember Karmelo is a 17-year-old kid who's never been in any sort of trouble before. If you can just put yourself in his shoes, this is a scary, bewildering process, and I can't even imagine what was going through his head, just as I'm sure I can't imagine what was going through the heads of the Metcalf family. So this is something that is new to all of them and incredibly trying.
Anthony was released from the Collin County Jail about 4:20 p.m. and put on house arrest with an ankle monitor. After an hour-long hearing at the county courthouse in McKinney on Monday morning, State District Judge Angela Tucker lowered Anthony's bond from $1 million to $250,000. While under house arrest, Tucker said Anthony will only be permitted to leave home with her permission, namely trips to his attorney's office and meetings in court, and will need to be with an adult at all times. He is also not to contact the Metcalf family, including on social media. Factors considered in court Monday included Anthony's age, lack of a criminal history, and ties to the community, including several family members, close friends, a football coach, and a manager from one of his part-time jobs who showed up to the hearing. On the Metcalf family side of the courtroom, Megan Metcalf, Austin's mother, bowed her head and cried as the decision came down. Of course, the white supremacist community is not happy with this latest news. For over 400 years, Black Americans have faced a justice system that was never designed to protect freedmen Black Americans. From slavery to Jim Crow, mass incarceration to police brutality, the system has consistently criminalized Black lives instead of defending them. Black Americans are nearly 6 times more likely to be incarcerated than white Americans. Police unalive Black people at more than twice the rate of whites. Judges hand down longer sentences for the same crimes. This isn't a broken system. It's a system working exactly as it was built, to protect privilege and punish the oppressed. But this injustice isn't just immoral, it's unconstitutional. The 14th Amendment promises equal protection under the law. The 8th bans cruel and unusual punishment. The 4th guards against unreasonable searches and seizures. Yet these rights are too often denied to Black citizens. Fixing this system means more than reforms. It means transformation. We need independent oversight of police departments. We need to end qualified immunity that protects officers from accountability. We need to abolish cash bail and mandatory minimums that trap Black families in cycles of poverty and punishment. And we must invest in public defenders, mental health care, education, and economic opportunity, not prisons. True justice will come when the Constitution applies equally to everyone, not just those who can afford it or were born into privilege. It's time for America to honor its founding promises, not with words, but with action, for Black Americans. Tell me what you think about this topic. Hope you find the information in this video informative. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment. Thanks for watching.